الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا يرحمكم الله. Straighten your lines. Don't leave any gaps. And please make sure your cell phone is turned off. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. والذين إذا فعلوا فاحشة أو ظلموا أنفسهم ذكروا الله فاستغفروا لذنوبهم ومن يغفر الذنوب إلا الله ولم يصروا على ما فعلوا وهم يعلمون أولئك جزاؤهم مغفرة من ربهم وجنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ونعم أجر العاملين. قد خلت من قبلكم سنن فسيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين. هذا بيان للناس وهدى وموعظة للمتقين. ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن يمسسكم قرح فقد مس القوم قرح مثله وتلك الأيام نداولها بين الناس وليعلم الله الذين آمنوا ويتخذ منكم شهداء والله لا يحب الظالمين وليمحص الله الذين آمنوا ويمحق الكافرين أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم ويعلم الصابرين ولقد كنتم تمنون الموت من قبل أن تلقوه فقد رأيتموه وأنتم تنظرون وما محمد إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل أفإن مات أو قتلا انقلبتم على أعقابكم ومن ينقلب على عقبيه فلن يضر الله شيئا وسيجزي الله الشاكرين وما كان لنفس أن تموت إلا بإذن الله كتابا مؤجلا ومن يرد ثواب الدنيا نؤته منها ومن يرد ثواب الآخرة نؤته منها وسنجزي الشاكرين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. So inshallah after Sunnah we will have fiqh sessions with Dr. Nadwi. So please stay behind. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We were discussing in our previous sessions about the history of fiqh and how it was started from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we were in the second phase of fiqh, which started after the date of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Sahaba, they settled in different cities, and then they were spreading the knowledge of Deen, and they were also establishing their own institutions or classes or halaqat. So their students were following them in their deen and in their also understanding of the different opinions. So this, we said that the second phase started with the fiqh of cities, different cities where the Sahaba settled. The next generation, those who carried the ilm of Sahaba, they were also very famous in their understanding of deen. And mostly, you will note that the two cities become very famous about the service of fiqh. One is Medina, because Imam Malik, he carried the knowledge, or he was the second or third generation of ilm after Abdullah ibn Umar and Nafi', and the students of Abdullah ibn Abbas, Ikrama, Qatada, Ata, and Mujahid, and so on. And then the Kufa became the center point of fiqh, because Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he settled there, and his ilm is taken by his student. And after that, Alqama, and then the Nakha'i, and then it became, it was in the, for example, the third generation of Imam Abu Hanifa. And two schools actually become very known among all other schools, a school of Medina and a school of Kufa. And their little bit difference, you can imagine that it was, as I said before, that either we take literal meaning of wording, or we go with logical meaning, Zahir, or we call two schools, Ahlul Rai and Ahlul Asar. Ahlul Asar mean those who are taking hadith as it is, with some kind of, dalil or some kind of reasoning, and other called Ahlul Rai, those who are using the logic, and also they are using qiyas. They are taking qiyas a little bit more. And one thing actually very important to know, that we have a very specific word which can explain our situation in early days. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خير القرون قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. The best generation, or best century, or best generation is my generation, or the time of Sahaba. And the second, Tabi'een. And the third one is Taba'ut Tabi'een or Atba'ut Tabi'een. Followers of Sahaba and the followers of Sahaba's followers. We call them Salaf. And Salaf is actually, in Arabic, it means predecessors, or earlier, those who are the before us, or our, you can say, forefathers, whatever we call Salaf. But in our terms, Salaf actually means three things. One, Salaf means era of time. Era of time. So those who lived in the time of Sahaba, they are Salaf. Those who lived in the time of Tabi'un, they are Salaf. And those who lived in the Tabaut Tabi'in, they are also Salaf. These are three Salaf. Right? So it is era of time. So any person who lived in that time, they are Salaf. The second meaning is those who are following the Aqidah which was acceptable or which was known in the three generations. What they were believing, what they were, for example, basic fundamentals about the Aqidah and many kind of issues. So we call them Salaf. Salaf here means not era of time, but it means era of Aqidah. So when we say I am Salafi al-Aqidah, it means whatever happened later, some kind of different definitions came from Mu'tazila, from different kind of groups. So we are not following it, we are following as it was understood in the time of Sahaba. Right? So it is the second meaning. And the third meaning is, which is also acceptable, that which is also acceptable, that Salaf means any person in our any era of time following these people. So suppose if I follow, I say I am Salafi. Right? Any person who, for example, comes from any kind of, you can say the Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, suppose he born in 8th of Hijrah, 800 years later, we call them Salafi alim and so on. So here Salafi means what? The person who is sticking with the method and you can say, for example, philosophy and principles, they were acceptable in the time of Salaf. Right? So these are three definitions of Salaf. So first definition is 100%. Nobody can disagree with it. Right? So any Sahabi, he is a Salaf. Any Tabi'i, he is Salaf. Any Tabi'i is Salaf. And the person who said that I am believing what Salaf believing. So it is also correct. Now the third issue is that if I say I am Salafi, so I am following, but what happened later, the Salafi word become opposite to taqleed or schools of thought, right? So suppose a person say I am Salafi means I am not following any four schools, right? I am Salafi because in the time of Salaf there was no such criteria. A person can go this alim, this alim and so on. So why I go and stick with one school, right? So this is, so it becomes Salaf become what? Against or parallel to sticking with a specific or one school. What we call in Urdu taqleed, right? So he say I'm not doing taqleed, I'm taking Salaf. What it means? I take directly from Quran and Sunnah and whatever was acceptable. So actually what point I'm explaining here, that the Salaf, if we count three generations, so now I ask you, Imam Abu Hanifa is Salaf or not? Yes, sir. It is agreed at least he is a Tabaut Tabi'in, if not Tabi'i. There is some kind of discussion that he saw some Sahaba, the last Sahabi who passed away, he passed away in 110 Hijrah. 110, the last Sahabi. And Imam Hanifa born when? You have any idea? He born 80 Hijrah. 80 Hijrah. So it means that he was how old? 30 years. So if we confirm that he made some Sahabi, we say him that he is a Tabi'i. If we say no, he lived in another city and that Sahabi was not migrated that city, he was in Medina and so on, so at least we can confirm that he is a Tabaut Tabi'i. So now the point, a person raising that I am following Salafi, So if I am following Abu Hanifa, do I follow Salaf or not? So there is no dispute. There is no dispute, right? Only thing is that you can say to me that yes, I don't follow Imam Abu Hanifa. It is okay, because the issue of opinion is going, for example, different option, no problem. But to exclude Imam Abu Hanifa from Salaf, this is something which is making an issue, right? So I'm saying, for example, what I explained you here in 3 sessions, that the fiqh established in the time of Salaf and the school's foundation established in the time of Salaf. So when Imam Hanifa say, I am following some fiqh, so he is following Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He is following. So what he did, what is his contribution? His contribution is 3. His contribution is 3. He collected the opinion of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, right? And he documented it. It was scattered. It was in mind of people, it was memory of people. It was not written in books. So he collected. Second thing is, he developed a whole chain of students. And in the time of Abu Hanifa, there was 56 students, very, very known, but among them, 12 or 13 or 14 are very, very close to him. And then among them are at least 4 very closest, Imam Abu Yusuf, Imam Muhammad, and then Imam Zufar, right? These are very closest. So in that sense, for example, same thing happened to Imam Malik, right? Imam Malik is depending on the fatwa Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Umar, Sayyida Aisha, right? And then he is documenting it. And then he is a student. And he is very, masterly scholar of hadith and scholarly knowledgeable of fiqh. So he is taking both things together, right? So in that sense, for example, his whole school based on these previous Sahaba's contribution, but he documented. And then he has also students. And you will be surprised to see that the fiqh of Imam Malik not spread in Medina, it is spread in Marrakesh. It is spread in Andalus. Why? Because one of the students, Imam Malik, came from that place. And he took the ilm of Imam Malik to that place. So in that sense, for example, this is the third thing they did. They expanded it. Previously, among the Sahaba, some Sahaba, they have maybe suppose 5,000 issues. They issued fatwa about it. Maybe some few hundred. Maybe some are talking mostly about aqidah, some ibadat, some other thing. But Imam Hanifa, he compiled the fiqh and expanded it in every aspect of fiqh. So in salawat, in sawm, in everything, right? And then he covered. So he said that he talked about the 80,000 masail. And he in his time, he did 80,000 masail. And same thing about Imam Shafi and so on. So I'm saying the fiqh not started from these schools. It was established by this school. Right? It was established by this school. So this is how, for example, the history of fiqh going, inshallah. So inshallah, I will talk later about some other phases after that contribution, inshallah. The second topic, which is actually I want to talk about it, alhamdulillah, now we are approaching for Eid al-Adha, right? It is a very, very special. It is a history of Islam. It is a footstep of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And it is a, for example, we are sitting here, but we are doing something which is we can do here as Hujjaj are doing in Makkah. Something we can do it here. So 2 3 things we do here. First thing we do takbirat. And of course, when we say Allahu Akbar in Salat is takbir. We do every time. But Quran says, Waskurullah fi ayyamin ma'dudat. Make a very special way to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the counted days. So ulama, they have 2 opinions how we, for example, when we start. So it is agreed that we start from the day of Arafah, the Fajr of 9th of Zilhijj. We start takbirat, especially after Salat. When we finish our Salat, we are doing ourselves or doing with Jama'ah. After finishing, we say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. And good thing if we are, suppose, for example, just like doing all the time, or suppose mostly the Rasulullah was excited when we are going up or we are going down, so we said Allahu Akbar that time. The end of the time is the Asr of either 12th or 13th, with two opinions. Because Ayyamut Tashriq actually means 10, 11, 12, or 10, 11, 12, and 13. Two opinions. Okay. So either we finish on the Asr of 12th or go with 13 of Asr. So these are the timing of takbirat which we do anywhere. It is not related. The Hujjaj, they do takbirat when they start their journey for Hajj. But they stop on the 10th of Zilhijj when they stone. When they stone the last the Jamara, then they stop. They not say takbir that after that. Even they stay in Medina, Mina, right? So in that sense, for us, it is required the thing. Second thing, which I talked yesterday, last session, about the, for example, holding to cut our nails or our hairs. So it is also good sunnah to do it, but it is not wajib. It is not, for example, mandatory. But suppose for some reason a person can do, there's no kafara for it. There's no any kind of sin. But it is good thing advised that when you are sacrificing, so from the day of moon sighting to the Salatul Eid, you will hold it. The third thing we also do in the Eid thing here, we offer Eid, special Eid Salat, right? Special Eid Salat. And the timing of Salat is after sunrise. Salatul Duha, whether we feel a little bit 15 minutes after 15 minutes of sunrise, we do it. And up to Zuhur time, we can do it, but it is earlier better. And it is encouraged by Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that we do in an open place or some place in outside city and so on. And he encouraged to come, that everyone's supposed to join it, even they are not praying. The ladies are not praying, but they go there. So this is Eid, a very special moment to remember us. The important thing is that this Eid prayer has no any azan, no iqamah, and no any other nawafil that time. Only 2 rakat and then the khutbah with 2 sessions after, opposite to Jummah before and it is after. But the Eid also has a special takbirat. So we have many opinions. Mostly I quote 2 very famous or popular opinions. One is Imam Hanifa's opinion, who says that we do 3 plus 3. Yani 3 extra takbirat in first rakat and 3 rakat in second takbirat. The position of takbirat in first after starting salat. When we say Allahu Akbar, we say Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika, then we say 3 takbirat. And the second rakah, we complete our recitation of Fatiha and Surah, and then we do takbirat before going ruku. According to Imam Shafi'i, this is 6 to 6. Or according to Imam Malik, 5 to 7. Same number, but with different numbers. And it is in the beginning. So in the first rakat beginning and also second rakat in the beginning. And ulama, they agreed that the maximum number of takbirat from 6 to 12. So they agreed that 6 is okay, 8 is okay, 12 is okay, but they are in between. So which one, suppose for example, in Alhamdulillah here we have a different kind of option. Masjid offer different ways. So we learn how, for example, we go to follow Sunnah in this way or that way. So it's very special in a moment, for example, offering our Eid. So this is one thing we do, just like as some kind of, I can say, imitation of Hujjaj. For Hujjaj, there is no Eid. There is no Salatul Eid. If they go, Salatul Eid, it is okay, but they are not required, right? Because they are coming on 10th day, they are going to stone, then they are going to sacrifice, then they are going to shave their heads, right? So they have a very special day to do thing. So in this way, Also, one thing we can do here, I think we talked about this last time, the one thing we do, Arafat fasting. Rasulullah SAW encouraged us to do from 1 to 9. وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ. So of course, Eid day we cannot fast. So 9 days. But 9th one is a very important. Rasul said, if you fast that day, it will, for example, clean you from the minor sins one day before and year last and year is coming. So it is a very special thing, we can do it. So according to us, our 9th of Zul-Hijjah, alhamdulillah, it is same what is happening for Hujjaj. So there's no any, for example, reason, for example, to go with this or that. So these are something we do in the thing. Other thing we do also sacrifice. This is also Hujjaj, they have 3 kind of Hajj. One Hajj which is called Ifrad. There is no sacrifice in it, right? Only Hajj and no sacrifice. But there are 2 other kinds, Tamattu and Qiran. Tamattu means a person going first for Umrah and then he, for example, you come back to his regular dress and then go back with ihram, new ihram for Hajj. It is Tamattu. The other one, Qiran. Qiran means joining Umrah and Hajj together with one ihram. So both has sacrifice. But their sacrifice must be in Makkah. Sacrifice of Hujjaj will be in Makkah. But our, anywhere. We can do anywhere. So this is also one of the issue. We do Salatul Eid and then after that, one of the sunnah, it is good sunnah. Rasulullah said, if you go for Eidul Adha, don't eat anything and go pray and then eat. There is no any restriction. Some people, they have some problem if they don't eat. Suppose they have some health issue, they can eat. There is no haram in it. In the Eidul Fitr, he asked us to eat. Why? To prove that we are not fasting. In Eidul Adha, he said you're supposed to start with your sacrifice, whatever. So there's no any restriction, but it is good thing to do it. So in that sense, for example, these are few things we do here, and we follow some kind of, following the sunnah of Hujjaj. Okay. The one issue, I think, inshallah, we will go with it, that, few days back, actually, this is an issue, that one person, he killed 4 of his family or 4 Muslims when he asked him to, for example, I don't know what was the issue, but this Muslim, he said, I'm not Muslim, and then he became mad and he killed. So really, what we can learn from it? What we can learn from it? Few things we had to learn. First thing, if we don't teach our kids from beginning, and we don't raise them as a Muslim, and we don't care about their attitude, we don't bring in Masjid, we don't give them, for example, Islamic teaching, and when they grow up, right? And we don't know how they influence with many things. So don't blame them, right? Second thing is that Islam is not by force, right? Only force can make a person Muslim. No. We can open with dialogue. We can try to convince, right? We can, for example, they have idea, they have some suspicions, they have something, and we're supposed to openly discuss with them. So this is one also one thing. And third thing is also that we need how, for example, to explain our society, our community. We are living here, we are free, but it not means we are free in doing anything, because we have to face akhirah, right? So we're supposed to be good in this society, but we're supposed to be good with our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this Hajj is giving us a message that I belong to Ibrahim alayhi salam's millah. Anywhere I'm living. Ibrahim alayhi salam, what he did? Quran says, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him, be Muslim, he said, I am Muslim. And then he transferred this heritage to his son. So Yaqub alayhi salam, إذ حضر يعقوب الموت. When the death time arrived to Yaqub alayhi salam, what he did? When he was leaving, he asked his son, whom you will worship? قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا. They confirmed that we will be the believers. Quran says what? تلك أمة قد خلت لها ما كسبت ولكم ما كسبتم. Right? So it is our duty how we be part of this ummah, how part of Millat Ibrahimi, anywhere we are living. So this is a very alarming thing, but we have to learn from it, and they give a good, for example, way to make our coming generation a very strong in their faith by conviction, not by just enforcement. And you can start now, inshallah.
So now let's take questions because we want to make it more question answer session. So please go ahead.
Normally, hadiths are quoted from Hazrat Aisha, but very few or none from other Ummul Mu'mineen. Why is that?
No, it is not right. Ummul Mu'mineen reported around 200 ahadith, right? Salama also reported around 200. Habiba has few ahadith, and also Maimuna, she has many ahadith. So all Ummul Mu'mineen, few ahadith or more, it is not the issue. But the issue is that every one of them was quoting. Sayyidah Aisha became known for two more reasons. First thing, she was not quoting hadith, she was also faqih. So she was also contributing with her understanding, right? And also she was taking, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her a very special way to live with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from very early age. And she died in 58 Hijrah. So how long she lived after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Around 40 plus. So 40 years she was a source of education. So in this way, of course, she is very famous, but other Ummul Mu'mineen also, and also many other women, Sahabiyat, they have also many hadiths they can report it. And one of our very known person, Professor Akram, Dr. Akram from UK, he compiled the Kitab of Muhaddisat, women, chain narrators of hadith. He collected 5,000 women.
Yeah, please feel free to raise your hand and ask questions. Even sisters, please feel free to ask questions. Yes, brother, go ahead.
My question is related to previous session about the namaz time. So, what is our makruh time here?
What is our?
Makruh time, like for Zohar.
Makruh time, oh. Makruh time for Zohar and Asr, right?
No, from before Zohar.
Before Zohar. No, this is, I will not say makruh time, but I am saying the beginning time. Beginning time is from the shadow tilted toward, for example, east, and sun is going toward west. So it is the starting time. But the prohibited time is when the shadow is zero, you will not pray any salah that time. Because 3 times are very restricted. Sunrise, middle of the day, and the sunset. After that, the makruh time you can say for Zohar, it may be to delay more and it enter in the Asr time. So then it will be. Otherwise, it is a prohibited time.
Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, so I think what he's trying to ask is that the prohibited time when sun is at the highest position on zenith, what is that time? That's what you are asking.
It is here based on calculation. It is not exactly what you see because it is difficult. Because sun is not going this way. Sun is going this way. So in this way, you calculate it. So here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it's not a big issue.
Okay. Maybe what you can do to estimate is the time which is published for Zohar, for example, on Sky prayers which I told you, or anywhere, 10 minutes before that, prohibited time starts until we have the Zohar time. So during that time is the prohibited time. 10 or 15 minutes you can guess at that. Any other question? Yes.
Prohibited time for before the Maghrib prayers. So like a lot of us before Azan they start praying 2 rakah. So what is the prohibited time in that period before Maghrib?
Just sunset time. sunset time. Suppose for example, the sun is setting today maybe 8:38. So it means, for example, you will not start your salat till 1 minute or 2 minutes after this 8:38.
That is Maghrib.
Sunset.
Sunset is at the, I'm talking about when to pray Maghrib. I'm talking what is the prohibited time not to pray Nafil before the Maghrib prayer.
There's no any prohibited time. You can pray anytime after sunset. Yeah.
After sunset.
After sunset. No, I'm saying after sunset. Before starting your salat here, anywhere. And there's two different issues. Sunset at 40. And Masjid started salat after 5 minutes. So you can pray in between.
Okay, let me clarify. I understand what you're coming from. So what happens is that once the sun is set, you can pray Nawafil or whatever until Maghrib time starts. So that's what Dr. Sabri is explaining. Okay, your question is about the time of sunset. That is a prohibited time. So you can say a few minutes before the sunset time is prohibited time.
Let's say 15 minutes before the sunset time.
Not 15 minutes, 2-3 minutes only.
5 minutes before. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Era of this every person. Up to Ibrahim alayhi salam we have. But before Ibrahim alayhi salam we don't have any exact number. But after Ibrahim alayhi salam we have an exact number. Around 5,000 years or something. Because we know that up to Isa alayhi salam 2,000 years, right? Yeah. So Musa alayhi salam also around 2,000 years.
Okay.
Before Isa alayhi salam, right? And then you can count 1,000 years for Ibrahim alayhi salam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are all guesstimates. Because Holy Quran has not given us any time period, because Holy Quran is not a book of history. All others are estimates. But one thing I want to caution everyone, never depend on Bible to calculate your time or calendar, because there are extremely serious problems with their calendar. So we'll leave at that. Yes, brother.
It's regarding the takbirat. We have 3, 6 and 12 takbirat in it. So what is the source of this difference? Why there and every 3, 4, 3, 6, 12, they're all authentic. So what is the source of it?
Source is Sunnah. And some Sahabi reported this way of number, other Sahabi report other way this number. So I can imagine, I am not exactly saying that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did different numbers of takbirat. So one Sahabi, he reported one number, other Sahabi reported other number. In this way, the number is coming from Rasulullah with different reports.
It's about Rosa on the day of Arafah or 9th of Zulhijjah. There are opinions that it only should be on the day of Arafah. Last time you mentioned that it should be according to our calendar, regardless of what's happening in Saudi Arabia and the 9th of Zulhijjah. Do we have any documentation that on the time of Rasulullah there was a difference between Arafah and 9th of Zulhijjah in Medina?
Few things supposed to be very clear in our mind, that this Islam is not revealed for Arafat people. It is not revealed for Makkah people. It is not revealed for all the time of Rasulullah. It is for all over the world, right? So it means, and we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam allowed by confirmation from Abdullah ibn Abbas that it is acceptable to go with 2 different days according to our different moon sighting. So in this way, the difference will be there, and my number of Arafat will be according to my calendar. It is acceptable in this way. Of course, in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was also always either in Mecca or Medina. So there's not the issue. But when we going all over the world, so this issue is actually, but what happened, there is 2 issues actually making some confusion. One thing, when we call it Yawm Arafah, so we are forgetting that we are saying Arafat day of 9th of Zilhijjah. Now we understood that Arafat day means when people are standing in Arafat. So it is some kind of confusion. But the second confusion is not confusion, but it is said in Hadith. Rasulullah said, the Arafat day will be for you when Imam declared Arafat day. So it means 2 things. Either we are living all over the world under one Imam. So one Imam declared Arafat day for whole world, we will follow it. Second meaning is that when I go for Hajj, and their calendar is different from us, so which day I will do Arafat? According to them. So Hadith says, Arafah yawma yu'arrifu al-imam. When Imam says it is Arafat day, your Arafah will be that day. Suppose he is wrong, but my reward will be taken in consideration even I am following in wrong opinion. This is the only thing. Otherwise, when I am here, I will follow according to my calendar.
It's on the Salah. Supposing you're slightly late and the Imam has started reciting Surah Fatiha, can you still recite Sana when you join, or it's not recommended?
I think we discussed this issue previous time, and I explained that the hadith is very clear that La salata illa bi fatihatil kitab. Salat is not valid without saying the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha. So I explained that there are 3 situations of salat. One is you are playing yourself, so you have to pray Surah Al-Fatiha. When you are leading and you are praying salat, you have to pray Surah Al-Fatiha. Shooting. Only the issue where 2 imams are going 2 different opinions, or 3 imams. As a muqtadi, as a follower, I have to say my recitation, or I can't depend on imam's recitation. So Imam Hanifa is taking hadith which says, Qira'atul imam qira'atun lahu. The person who is praying behind imam, so recitation of imam will be enough for the follower. So he said, you not need, for example, to do yourself. Again, let me complete. The second position is that Imam Muhammad of Imam Abu Hanifa's student, and also Imam Ahmad, he said, when you are listening the Imam's recitation, you should not say your recitation, because it is your duty to listen Quran, right? So what you do? He said, either you do when he is reading quietly, Zuhr time, you can pray your or when he stop and he has some breaks, then you could do your recitation, right? Imam Shafi'i, he said, regardless Imam reciting loudly or quietly, every muqtadi or every follower is supposed to do his recitation, even Imam reciting. So these are 3 opinions, right, based on this hadith, with 2 different ways to understand from it, right? Whatever you like, you can do it. I'm not saying, for example, but I'm saying these are 3 opinions. In my understanding, if any person not reciting behind Imam, following this thing, he is not doing any kind of wrongdoing or any kind of violation. Still, this person is following Sunnah.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you join in and the Imam is saying Surah Fatiha, but you have not said the Sana, so should you still say the Sana?
Oh yes, you can say it, but better if you started, then you will not say that time. But when you are going, for example, ruku, that time you can say. Otherwise, when he started recitation, you just join him.
Okay. So Dr. Sahab has answered. Let me expand on it, because I still see the question mark on your face. So what happens is, if it is Dhuhr or Asr, and you come and Imam, you don't know what Imam is reciting, you can still do your Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, you can still recite it. But if it is a Maghrib or Isha or Fajr, and Imam is reciting Surah Fatiha or some other thing, then you cannot recite anything because you have to listen to the Quran. That clarifies that? Okay. Yes.
Continuation of, I have two questions. Continuation of this one. If I join in Ruku, I was in Ruku. Now I didn't hear it and I didn't say it. I just said takbir and I am in the Ruku. So is that rak'ah is valid, or I should pray this rak'ah, because I was in one more dars and Dr. Adris from
Anyone.
he was saying you should have rak'ah repeated because you didn't say, you didn't stand in qiyam.
Yeah.
So, opinion.
Second question.
Second question is, if I somehow missed Dhuhr and it's and Asr is also late, I was somehow, so I need to pray Dhuhr first and then Asr, but Dhuhr will be qada.
Yeah, so I think we can ask from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam what I should do if I am going in Ruku directly, right? So Rasulullah said in one hadith, it is very clear hadith, if you got Imam in Ruku and you joined him in Ruku, so your rak'ah is counted. It is clear? So when hadith is there, so why I do my opinion? Right? So this is hadith. Abu Hurairah reported it. The question only came from others people. They said, when the recitation is important and I didn't decide, so I will not count it. So now we have two different understanding. So one of the rule in fiqh, the direct wording related to my issue and indirect wording, which one be stronger? So direct thing is from hadith. It says specifically, if you got Imam in his ruku and you did it, so you got it. And now indirect means you miss your recitation of Fatiha. So this is a weak, right? So in that way, for example, we will not go with this thing. But of course, those who are going, they are depending on that way. So I don't want, for example, to say they are wrong or thing, but I'm saying this understanding. Second issue is that, yes, of course, you will do your Zuhr first, and then you will do your Asr, and if you are praying in the time of Asr, then it will be Qada.
Okay.
What is Asr? After first prayer or after completion of all the like Nawafil and Sunnah? What is Asr?
In the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there are many examples of doing zikr with different ways. One thing that when he finished Jama'ah, he turned his face toward people and then he was saying some kind of tazkir. Many times it reported different Sahaba, different thing. So it means any kind of zikr happened that time. But he also said that of course you can do 33 times Subhanallah, 33 times Alhamdulillah, and 34 times Allahu Akbar. And it is said after the namaz or after the finishing your salat, Salatul Fard, right? When you finish your Jama'ah. Also he said that the best time of dua is after salat. After salat. So it means also both way, either Fard or it will be at the end of your whatever you are doing. The fourth thing is also said that it is not good for Imam when he is doing dua after salat and he is doing for himself alone. So he should do what? For others also. So it means it will be after fard. So in this way there are many ways, and especially actually one of the issue which has become very, I can say, big issue in our time now, that some people say if you do dua after Salatul Fard, any Salatul Fard, it is bid'ah. because it never happened that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did collective dua after finishing salat, right? So he's saying that it is not. The issue is actually, I see it in another way. I see that it is not mandatory to do dua after salat. It is not mandatory. But it is also not bid'ah to do dua collectively. In between. Sometimes you do dua, sometimes you don't do dua, and some people they don't join it, they leave it. It is always okay. But we have a different ahadith which prove that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he encouraged to do dua after finishing salat. He said, do dua and remember all those who are gathering, especially imam. And he said, when you finish, you make your face, hand towards face, right? And also, for example, he said, ad-du'a mukhul ibadah. The best time of dua is when you finish your salat and so on. So in this way, there are different hadiths which is not, for example, making the issue very complicated. But in our time, it becomes a little bit complicated. But the best thing is to do two kind of zikr, one after farz and one when you finish.
Okay. This is the last question because we are getting close to Adhan time, and this is from our sisters. If somebody, a wife has enough jewelry to be, that she has to pay zakah, she is sahibi nisab, and is it wajib that she should do sacrifice? If she cannot afford you because she doesn't have a job, she's just at home, and in that situation, if it is wajib, then should her husband do it? And if your husband does not have istihar to do two qurbani, one for himself and one for the wife, what should do? So all these situations, if you can please explain.
Okay. Yes, sir. So the rule is, of course, this is the rule, that any person who is paying zakat, this person, he is supposed to sacrifice. The qurbani, the nisab issue is important. Of course, now practical issue is different. It is theory. Practical issue is that a lady, she has a lot of jewelry, but suppose no earning, or no cash money, right? Or not enough money, I can say. Cash money, something is there. So what we will do? So what, for example, a kind of not mandatory for husband, but it is good thing to do on behalf of wife. It is good thing, and it will be considered a good, for example, ihsan. If he don't, suppose if he refuse, so of course, for example, nobody can force him to do this thing. Now in that situation, what will happen? So of course, one thing must be clear, that the qurbani, either it is sunnah or it is wajib, regardless to opinions. If someone missed it, so there is no any kafara for it, right? No compensation for it. So the issue, when the 3 days over, the qurbani time is over, right? So in that sense, if some sister, they are not able and they are willing to do it, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them, or may Allah reward them for their niyyah, and they are not able, they can do it. One thing they can do, maybe, they have plan, if I have money, so they can do second years or some kind of thing. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did some compensation, he missed some qurbani, so he did other years and so on. It is, I'm just advising, it is not any kind, you will not take it seriously, but if not able to do, there is no any kind of violation or any kind of compensation for it.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. It's very good. So inshallah, we'll be doing adhan in 1 minute. If you want to make a quick dua.
Yeah, inshallah, and Allah bless everyone with Eid, and Allah make this Eid to unite us in our heart and our thing. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. وتوب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
الله أكبر
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله